So as guys age, hair loss is a common problem that a lot of us deal with, but a lot of us don't want it. We're lazy, right? We're lazy beings. We don't want to go to the doctor. We don't have to deal with all of this. But there is that point where you look and you're like, I've got to do something about this now. And that's where today's video sponsor, Keeps, makes it easy. The best way to prevent hair loss is to do something about it while you still have hair left. Get treated from home. With Keeps, a licensed doctor will review your information online and recommend the right hair loss treatment plan for you. Then, your treatment is shipped directly to your door every 3 months. Message your Keeps doctor 24/7 with any questions or concerns you may have along the way and track your progress with the Keeps Progress Tracking tool. Keeps offers generic versions of the FDA-approved medications for hair loss, which makes it more affordable. Find out why Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors and why hundreds of thousands of men trust Keeps for their hair loss prevention. So if you're done procrastinating and ready to start your treatment, visit keeps.com/SSR. I put a link right below in the description. They've got a special offer waiting for you at the other end of that. That's keeps.com/SSR, KEEPS.com/SSR. All right, what's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti here with another rental story. Stuff like this goes out easy. Like the worst thing that happens to like a G-Wagon is somebody stands on the hood, right? Other cars, like the sports cars, have a little bit more challenging things. Sports cars lead to the temptation of people like standing in the hoods, but also people bring them to racetracks, people doing burnouts, doing stuff that's just like not cool use and not permitted use. But at the end of the day, certain things you charge for, certain things you don't charge for. Now, I just caught a customer doing burnouts in one of my rental cars. It wasn't this one, that car is not here, so I'll just use the Ferrari for an example. Now, I've got 2 GPS units in each car. I do. But anyway, the one that I use primarily is Links Up, and Links Up gives me both speed alerts, it gives me harsh acceleration, harsh braking. If the GPS is disconnected, it gives me a lot of stuff. Now, there's people that are just like good. Like, you know, you put all the ingredients for a meal, and some people can just make it delicious, and other people just make it inedible. I'm one of those people. Don't ask me to cook. However, if you show me a GPS for a rental car, I can look at that and tell you what that person, how that person's driving, what they're doing, and sort of see the patterns there. Now, I was able to determine this guy was doing burnouts just by looking at the GPS report. He was one of those customers that I want to say is I'm going to say a bad customer. Like, instantly calls up, never rented from us, wants a discount. I'm like, all right, come on, I can't give you a discount. Drops a name, and like, it's weird because I don't know everybody that knows me. Like, I've met people, and oh, yeah, talk about the business, talk about everything. But they know me, and they're like, oh, like, I'm friends with Rob, just ask for this. But I don't know them maybe by name, but I know them by sight. So when somebody says a name to me, I'm like, all right, if you give me some context, I'll try to dial it in. But a guy wanted the car same day. He took the Corvette ultimately, and I gave him 10% off as just like you know what, here's your discount. I never discount it because it doesn't have to be discounted, but whatever. Same day, you can get a discount. Then the guy calls me. He's like, I'm just going to go to like Brooklyn and back. I'm going out to dinner with a girl. No problem. Yeah, you know what? It's perfectly understandable. You're better off going out to dinner in a Corvette than you are whatever else you're driving. Fast forward, guy is coming back later that night after dinner because I need that car to go out the next morning. And I'm like looking like, all right, let's see if this guy's going to make it back on time. And I look at the GPS and I'm like, that dude's doing burnouts. And I'm like, I'm going to have to call him out on this. And he called me up earlier in the day. He's like, oh, yeah, by the way, I need some extra miles. I'm like, what are you talking about, extra miles? I gave you a discount. Oh, I forgot something up at my house, so I had to go up to my house. Sure enough, that was, judges say, that too is a lie. And I looked at the GPS, and like whatever he does, it doesn't matter as long as you pay for it. But when you come over here and look at let me just pop my screen open here. All right, so when you pull up the GPS here, you're going to see, and this is how you sort of read it and see what happens. So you see this guy went up here. The lightning bolts and the exclamation points are what you're really looking for. Lightning bolts, not really a big deal. Rapid acceleration. You're going to get a lot of that in these sports cars. And not because they're really going fast, just because these rapid acceleration things are designed around pedestrian cars. So it's not hard to trigger a rapid acceleration in a rental car. Then you go up here and you start asking, where did this guy go? Like, he clearly went up here for some reason. And what was that reason? So we start looking here, and it sort of dead ends. Now I'm looking for like racetracks or something. And now here, when you see it, you start to see some unusual activity. A lot of U-turns, a lot of turnarounds, a lot of like, this is the end point, and it's not really an interesting place to stop. It's just sort of here. And then you see you've got 31. So, I mean, he's not speeding, but this is rapid acceleration. Then you've got harsh braking, and you've got harsh braking, harsh braking. So now what you're seeing here is you're like, all right, well, how big is this? This is not really a large place. So he just keeps looping back and forth, looping back and forth. Fast forward, you drag this little guy down here, and you have this. So all you're looking at here is this little stretch. Now, this little stretch is not long enough to accelerate and to use as sort of a drag strip for performance. The only thing this could be used for is effectively burnouts. It's a secluded area in the middle of nowhere where you can do burnouts, and there's no cops around because you're in the middle of the sticks. So that is effectively what transpired here, and you just see a lot of back and forth burnout action, and that's how you can identify unusual activity. Unusual activity usually sticks out pretty easily on these things, but that's how I figured that one out. So as you can see, like, I've clearly identified that some unusual activity was happening, and I called him out on it when he came back, and his response was actually, I mean, unexpected and pretty funny. First off, he came back with a dude in the car. I'm like, yo, I thought you had dinner with a girl. Not that I care, he can do whatever he wants. But then he came back and he said, like, I'm like, hey, I may not even charge you for those burnouts you did up at the lake. Oh, yeah, those. Do you want me to help you promote you on social media? I'm like, no, you're not going to go post burnout videos and promote my company saying like, hey, why don't you rent from this guy because he's got like cars you can go do burnouts in. Anyway, caught the guy, didn't charge him. The tires are new, but he didn't take too much off the tires, at least not noticeable enough that I would feel comfortable charging him. Couple of burnouts isn't going to essentially kill any set of tires. It's not standard use. The guy for the one day in that car did not generate a lot of revenue. Probably, I don't want to say cost more. It wasn't worth the effort at the end of the day, but not every customer is going to be a great customer. This guy I caught doing burnouts just because I don't look at all GPS logs either, so like I just know how to read them. This one, anytime I'm taking in a car late at night after hours, I'm usually the one that goes and does that just because it's late and everybody else is working during the day. I don't really work a lot during the day, so I go do the out-of-hours stuff. But at the end of the day, when I do look at GPS, I can see stuff like that. Caught the guy doing burnouts, and that is how I caught a guy doing burnouts in one of my rental cars from a GPS log. Thanks for watching. See you next time. All right, thanks for watching the whole video. You know my other company, Adventure Drives. Well, we've got 3 drives coming up this year. We're doing a DC to Nashville drive through Tail of the Dragon, through the Smoky Mountains, drinking some moonshine. That's going to be a great time. That's in the end of April. Interested in something longer? Well, we're going to go to France and Spain for our European drive this summer. That's going to be in the first week of August. And Scotland, which you've heard so much about, will again be this coming October. So check them out, adventuredrives.com. There's a link below in the description.